Hey folks, welcome to Searching in Fearless Tarot. Today's energy reading is going to be for Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Virgo. The song that was stuck in my head, I'm going to link it in the video description below. Let's get into prayer. Father God, Holy Spirit, thank you so much for another day not promised. Thank you for all the love, guidance, and wisdom you give to us. We are nothing without it or you. Please help me connect to my Sagittarius, Scorpio, Virgo collective. What energies are they going through currently? Jupiter. Okay. So Jupiter deals with lessons of expansion. And when I say lessons of expansion, I mean trying something out and finding out it doesn't work. Or trying that you like too much of something and then it overrules your life. So it's some of you could be having blessings coming into your life or feeling like blessings are going to come into your life. Let's see. Please help me to connect to Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Virgo. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Virgo. What messages will be needed this time? Okay. A lot of you are carrying on through a really rough journey. I don't know why, but I'm getting the number 8 in my mind. I feel like maybe some of you could have been going through this for 7 or 8 months or more. You're still trying to grow and expand. With the sun reversed, it feels like there are certain things hidden from you or you're going through a depression of some sort. But with the Page of Wands, you're soldiering on, you're moving forward. This is definitely very Aries energy, very I want to create my own world. I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to see the fear and I'm going to march right through it. It doesn't matter kind of feeling. A lot of you could be, this is a feeling that comes up often, but a lot of you could be reminiscing about a feeling or a person, place, or thing. A lot of you, I know this is kind of a weird excerpt, but I feel like a lot of you are dealing with relationships that you've had in your life for a very long time that you realize that you were giving most of the energy to, or that you were doing something, bending your will to theirs, but with nothing in return. So a lot of you are trying to move past that, move from that. But seeing this Wands energy right here, because that's what Spirit's pointing me to, is it's not so much air energy where you're cutting it out. A lot of you could be struggling to cut these things out. With the Six of Cups reversed, these are some like friends you could have from childhood. These are also family members that could have been in your life for a very long time. So moving forward or moving against the grain, or even some of you are moving despite them. A lot of you are manifesting at this time. I'm seeing the World and the Four of Cups. The World to me always talks about a season or a phase that you need to go through in order to find the ultimate goal or to find the ultimate growth. The World to me also, especially this world in this spread, is talking to me about the things that you need to process and feel before you get to success. Or before you get to, maybe you have success, but before you get to the achieved outcome that you're looking for. And really, it's not even an outcome I'm feeling you're looking for. It's more of a drive, a focus, a purpose is what you're looking for. A glorious purpose, if you will. A lot of people that are on your outside circle that have been around you for a long time before this cycle are probably looking at you like you're a fool, like you're doing things without thinking about consequences of them, or maybe the circumstances of where you're living is different, or because you have to walk against the grain, there's this feeling of isolation. But there's also a feeling of empowerment and growth in that as well. And that's where the Jupiter energy comes in, because maybe a lot of you with this Saturn, especially those of you going through your Saturn return, you've been feeling all these outside forces oppressing you in one way, shape, or form. But for a lot of you, you're meant to go through the rigmarole of those things so that you can learn how to think beyond them, how to think beyond the box. And that's why maybe what you're doing looks a little insane right now, but it's more spiritually led than anything. And it definitely, if you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are not spiritual or have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, it's going to feel a little estranging. It's going to feel like you're almost outside of your own life at sometimes. And I know for me in 2020, I knew that the shitstorm was about to start when I was literally like going outside of my body. Like I didn't feel like I was living my own life. I felt like I was just living a part. I was in a script and I was doing what was told of me in that script. And it was like a light clicked on for me. And it was like, you don't have to be a part of this script. This is your choice. You know, you can do something different if you want to. And it was time for change, you know. I know a lot of people like stability and all that, but that's not what my soul was yearning for. And it made me make a lot of decisions that probably didn't make sense to a lot of the people around me. But in reality, what I had to learn and take accountability for was that I was just following everyone else's life. This is also true because my son, the ruler of my 12th house is my son. So obviously right there's undertones of feeling like you're not living your own life and you need to be needed in order to be loved. And this is the time that's asking you to rise above that, to rise above doing things other people want you to do just because you feel like it's required of you or that they won't love you if you don't do these things. Boundaries are super important to have, especially if you want to get into this magnetic, if you want to learn yourself, if you truly, truly want to know yourself, like ins and outs, it's imperative that you are in an energy where you're not looking for the outside world to give you the validation that you need. But that's a difficult process. That's a hard, tough thing to learn. That's like doing sun work. Like when I started to have people watch me on social media and having to acclimate to that and get used to that and the changes that come about that. But in order for me to shine in that aspect and not get so dismayed emotionally or to lean onto the public for what I'm supposed to do next is not my purpose. It's not what I'm meant to do. It's not what anyone's meant to do. We all have certain particular purposes that we're meant to be in this world for. And the fact that you look like a fool to other people is only helping to teach you that you're meant to rely on yourself, that you're a grown adult, that you can make these decisions moving forward. And just because they're different from everybody else's doesn't make you a piece of shit. It doesn't make you this crazy wackadoodle that's going, you're forming and you're changing. You're in between worlds right now. And that's incredibly confusing. Because some of you, if you're linked to family in any way, shape, or form, or you rely on family in any way, shape, or form, it's incredibly difficult to play by their rules once you know your own. Some of you could be family, others of you, it could be entrenched friend circles that you've had forever. But really, I feel like this reading more than anything is talking about looking through the fear. Cutting through the bullshit. Bam. Okay, so King of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. For some of you, this could be parents. For others of you, this could be a partner that was keeping you restricted, but with the King and Queen of Swords here, this also doesn't feel like you. Plus, I'm not reading any air today. I'm reading water and fire and earth. So to me, the King and Queen of Swords, maybe you're you feel like you're suppressed by someone else's truth, or maybe you're not able to put your complete voice out there because you're not old enough or you still live at your parents' house, or but there, to me, this Eight of Swords here, following the King and Queen of Swords, is talking to me about illusions and entanglements that were made within the family dynamic here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a family dynamic, but with this King and Queen of Swords, it's like the energy that I'm feeling from these two cards is like these people demand that you live their truth. Demand that what they have to say is the most important, fundamentally. This feels a lot like conditioning and self-differentiating yourself from the family dynamics that have gone on in your life since forever. This is someone who's brave enough to move past that. With the High Priestess and the Three of Wands, you're thinking about the future. You're thinking about the bigger picture. You're thinking about what's it gonna look like. It's weird because Spirit's showing me like when the Nazis occupied Germany, and what was going on in that time. And I think that a lot of you are so dynamic and so futuristic thinking, especially for those of you who are plundering into businesses yourself, or you're daring to be different. You guys are thinking about the end game. You're thinking about the decisions made after the fact. Because what Spirit always keeps bringing me to, and I know this is kind of a weird message, but is the fact that history repeats itself. History repeats itself. So it's like the people, when the Nazis were occupying Germany, a lot of the people, there was so much propaganda going on at the time. And I'm not saying or giving excuses for anybody, but what I'm saying is it didn't seem like that to the public at the time, because of different propaganda and messages that were slewing around. I'm not giving anybody an excuse for what happened or anything like that. I'm just saying that things can happen right underneath our nose in society, and you are smart enough and know enough that you want to change it. And it's not necessarily like you're coming from a place of, well, maybe some of you are, but it's not necessarily like most of you are coming from a place of, I'm so much better, or what I'm gonna do is gonna change everything for the better forever. You're not that naive. It's just the fact that you know that what you had doesn't work, so you're trying something different. And that's incredibly painful and can be isolating, especially for people who are stubborn and feel like their way is the only way. You're having to break free of that. You're having to distance yourself, especially from family members or people that have to be in your life. You're distancing yourself and thinking about things on a more intellectual basis than a heart basis. And I ain't talking shit about that, because I'm doing that myself. So sometimes you need to do that, and sometimes you need to go a little under the radar or undercover in order to get what you need achieved. And when I say under the radar or undercover, I'm not saying lie to them, cheat to them, steal to them, ignore them, block them, do whatever. No. It's about boundaries and keeping your distance. And for a lot of you, I feel like this is a new concept. And it's okay that it's new. It's new to me too. Boundaries are extremely fucking difficult. Some days I'm really good at them, and then other days I'm crying the entire day because I had to make a decision, or, you know. But that's the beauty of all this, is that we're learning, we're transpiring, we're expanding, we're growing. And that's where Jupiter comes in to play here, my friends. What other messages we got? Okay. A lot of you had to take a blind leap of faith, and to figure out how to move forward. And a lot of you that had to take that blind leap of faith and you felt like you were left out in the dark, there are people, you're having to negotiate and expand your relationships, or put more emphasis on those relationships in order to find home, to find your stability back. Some of you even had to walk away from marriages. For a lot of you, this is family, or family dynamics, or family relationships, cousins, nephews, uncles, aunts, grandmas, whatever. You had to leave them behind in order to find something more for yourself. And you're not wrong. A lot of you could be thinking about like lost opportunities, or opportunities that slipped through your fingers, or stuff that you made mistakes on. The reason why this is happening is because you have to acknowledge how far you've come, for better or for worse, to see it all within its truth, within the reality of things. And then expectations is what I'm hearing in my head. So I feel like a lot of you are learning how to temper your expectations, or how to live life fancy free and footloose. A lot of you, it's been hard for you to let loose. It's been hard for you to let your inner child out. It's been hard for you not to judge yourself for being a little kid again, or allowing to be a little kid again, allowing yourself to be there, which is so necessary and so vital, but with such heavy energy and such what's the word I'm looking for? unrest, unbalance in the world right now. It can be incredibly hard. But what we do have is that light inside of us that nobody can take away. And as cliche as it sounds, we do. And there's tough days, no doubt. Don't get me wrong, you know, and there will be tough days to come. But if you choose yourself, and if you choose to learn and grow through this situation and let yourself cry, let yourself feel, and let yourself move through that fear, see it and walk right past it. As one of my favorite people in the rooms always said, fear is a mile long and paper thin. You just have to walk through it. And that's so true. A lot of you also could be getting a message from somebody from the past that's been depressed. Maybe a situation that didn't have true closure to it. A situation that didn't have, some of you could be thinking about someone from the past, or some of you could be having someone come in from the past, but it feels like this person, there was no closure in the relationship. Something happened and they just left, and maybe there was maybe there's something. I'm going to speak from the perspective that someone's coming in, but also if you're the one that needs to apologize or thinking about apologizing, please just reverse the roles. But in this situation, I feel like this person has been very flighty, has been in and out. They could have left on the drop of a dime. And with the Seven of Cups reversed, it's like they don't have options or choices, or they don't feel like they have options or choices. And maybe they know this, maybe they don't, but I feel like they don't have these options or choices because there's no true closure from the relationship. And no matter how hard this person tried to pretend like you didn't exist because of whatever happened, you do exist and you are a reality. And this is something that needs to be worked on. Also, though, when I say this, if you are resonating with this, don't get too excited about the apology. I feel like it's going to be more for closure. I feel like it's going to be more of like a, we need to work together kind of thing. Some of you could share children together. Others of you, this is just a relationship where the person didn't have the relationship as a priority. And they're directionless. But they're not, it doesn't feel like they're directionless because of you. It feels, or like who you are or what you brought to the table. It feels like they're more directionless because they don't know who they are. And at the time you guys severed ties, they could have been lashing out or projecting. But either way, I feel like there's some kind of communication coming in. Okay, I'm gonna go into advice because I've been rambling on for 18 minutes now. All right, Spirit, what's the advice for Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Virgo? Advice for Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Virgo. Okay. The advice for you guys is to, when you're reflecting on those past relationships, look at them as if it's a objective or a goal that you need to get through. Don't look at them as like some hardship that's always going to follow you. Or when you start to get into the negative thinking of this is always going to happen, or this is just my luck every single time, you're literally manifesting that back. And you don't deserve that. I'm not saying that because you're a piece of shit and you deserve, no, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that you deserve the best, but you have to believe that for yourself. You have to know and trust that everything is going to work out for your highest good. And that's where everybody's learning how to integrate this feminine energy along with the Jupiter energy, because it's tough. Jupiter energy can be careless, it can be selfish, it can be many things. And maybe some of you feel like you did make a careless or a selfish decision in the past year, you know? But life is not, I'm going to say this over and over again, I feel like life is not about pass or fail. It's about how well did you learn the lesson? How well did you take accountability for your side of the street? How well did you create boundaries when you realized that that other person probably wasn't going to take accountability? These are all things that need to be evaluated because there is underlying trust issues going on within the decisions that you're making. And it's imperative that you focus on these trust issues right now because it's going to impact your future relationships. And if you're the type of person that's looking for soul family to come in, I would definitely recommend working on those trust issues so that you're coming into alignment a lot faster. Some of you could be focusing on work and focusing on future plans at work, but there's some of you are focusing, some of you that are in a new relationship or a newer relationship, you're trying to find a balance between work and new relationships is what I'm feeling. But with the Queen of Cups reversed, you may not feel like you're doing it very well. For a lot of you, because of this situation of the past, you're struggling to move forward into the future and to make decisions. Some of you could be in a new relationship and you're struggling to focus solely on that relationship because there are still dynamics from the last relationship that are involved here, but you will find clarity soon. You will find clarity. Don't burn yourself out and frustrate yourself over and over and over again. You will find clarity and you will figure it out one way or another. And this isn't about, I need to make this clear because I feel like I see this on a lot of channels and I don't want my channel to become this, but justice is not about seeing the other person go to shit, okay? Justice is not about that at all. Justice is about finding a healthy understanding between you two and everything that happens in between that. And I'm telling you right now, if you're one of those people that's so fucking focused on justice and if the other person is going to see what you're doing, or if the other person is going to fall to their demise because of the choice that they made towards you, I want you to really, really put yourself a mile in their moccasins. And I want you to understand that people have different directives in life. People have different missions in life, and people can change. And I'm not excusing anything that these people did. I'm not excusing it at all. But what I'm trying to do is free your heart. Because when we cling to this understanding or this clarity and we feel like the only person that can deliver it is that person, we're clinging to the past. And we're clinging to those situations. And we're scared that it's going to happen to us again. And that same fear and that same clinging and those repetitive thoughts over and over again, you're just bringing the same cycle in with different faces. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not fucking important what that other person is doing. It's not. What's important is your success. Period. End of the day, period. They will get what's coming to them. And maybe you might not see that. But that's okay. This is about finding clarity within yourself. This is about understanding and expanding your own strength and focusing on that for now. If you truly feel like you've done everything to take accountability and hold to your side of the street, then all you need to do is wait and be truthful in yourself and with others. You've got this, friends. Okay. Let's do guidance cards. Okay, Father God, Holy Spirit, what do Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Virgo need to know? Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Virgo. Scorpio, Sag, Virgo. Okay, Scorpio. Portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. Love these cards so much. Okay, portal. Scorpio, doors are opening for you. Your thoughts are extra powerful for you right now. Planets are aligning, the timing is right, the universe is saying yes. You have the Midas touch. Your hard work is being rewarded. This is a time when you can reap the rewards for efforts made in the past. It's also a time when you can achieve a lot. Great leaps can be made. Extreme transformation can occur. Great distances can be traveled in a short space of time. You're swimming with the cosmic current of life. What experience would you like to have? What do you want to create? What new adventures would you like to manifest? Don't lose focus. Use this moment in time wisely. Be conscious and clear with your emotions and thinking. Projects that you've been working on are coming to fruition. Things are in full bloom. It's time to take your harvest and taste your well-earned fruits. When this card comes up in a spread, it's a sure sign that effortless change is possible. If you've been looking for a sign, this is your portal into the new reality. Now is the time to make big changes. If you've been guided to switch things up, you're extremely well supported right now. Use this energy and jump right on in. Sagittarius, the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. That picture kind of looks like something, but I'm not going to say what it looks like. 40. Sagittarius, this is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions, and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. This isn't easy. The awakening process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate, and awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Ground yourself, Sagittarius, all right? All right? And Virgo, Star Brothers, Horus energy. I've never seen this one. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Virgo, you're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now from those in your life and from the benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone, that it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open, that the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe, even if you're going through a difficult time. They want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you can ever imagine, both in this world and beyond. To call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's ups and downs and to learn to open your heart, especially when it most wants to harden. Okay, my loves, until next time, I hope this reading brought you some clarity and joy, maybe even a laugh or two. Love you. Bye.